If you ever reach that point where I think I know enough, I don't need to learn anymore, check out. All right, cookies. All right, with cookies, we're going to start out basically like a lot of cookies. We're going to cream the sugar and the butter together, okay? It's important that we understand that creaming method and don't overdo it, because if we overdo it with a paddle, you're going to incorporate a lot of air and the cookies are going to lose their impression on the top real fast. Okay? We had quite a few this morning that didn't pay attention to what we were doing, and they had cookies that looked good before they went in the oven. When they came out of the oven, they had spread a little too much. Give me a plate, please. Right, it's a little dark, but you can see the impression on it. If you cream it too much, you're incorporating too much air, even with a paddle. You're going to lose that nice impression you have on the top. Okay, so there's a couple of stages where we want to make sure we're real careful with it. Was there salt in this recipe? Yeah. For the cookies?
Yeah.
Was there teaspoon?
I did.
No, because was it in one of these? No. Sugars were here. Thank you. I'm looking to see if there's hair in it. Salt? No, I got it. So ideally your butter, if you're going to be making cookies, you want to make sure to get your butter cut up into smaller pieces. Let it soften up. You know, you could rationalize, say, well, the paddle's going to break it up, so I don't really need to do all of that. You know ahead of time you're going to be making a cookie and butter needs to be creamed with the sugar. Cut it up into smaller pieces and let it sit out at room temp until it softens up a little bit. Okay? Don't rationalize, say, well, let me microwave it and then it'll cream up even faster. You don't want that. Right, and don't rationalize either and say, well, if I turn it up to 10 all the way high, it's going to cream a lot faster. Don't go that route either. Oh, sorry. That'll be on the vlog, right?
Yeah. Where's the wisdom?
Alright, and again at this point, if you're making this amount or more or whatever, don't rationalize it, well, I'm going to go do something else and come back to it. You're going to be starting to, again, getting it way too soft, getting more air into it, okay? It's combined now. Before I add anything else, I want to just get, for this small amount, you won't need to be that concerned about it, but I just want to make sure that it's cleaned off the bottom, because in the bottom of the bowl, it's a little concave around, kind of a donut shape. You want to make sure that there's no raw butter underneath there that isn't creamed in with the sugar. Okay, so the butter and the 2 sugars and the salt are in there. I'm going to go with the eggs next. And if you're doing a large batch, don't add your eggs all at once, maybe in 2 or 3 parts. Go to Tammy, please. Thank you. All right, I'm going to sift the baking soda and the flour together. Why? Uniform mixture, okay? Am I concerned about putting more air into it and making it a lighter batter? We don't want that, okay? All right, for this small amount, it's really hard to get that egg blended in well. So what you're going to do, this is where you're going to have to trust your partner. You're going to do two recipes in a mixer at a time, okay? So one mixer, 2 recipes. So let's see, Richard and Corey, you two work together.
Did I say what?
Yes, sir. I gotta do myself in the lecture yesterday.
Yeah, this small amount is not enough in one mixer. Alright, so what I'm going to do, because I've got a small amount here, I'm going to take and, using the rubber spatula, cream that together so it blends in smoother. It's a little too wet. I noticed pickling cucumbers are on the market now.
Sorry?
Pickling cucumbers are on the market now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Buy it by the case.
I may do that this year. So I can make more of those pickles. To make a couple hours. Seriously, if that long. A couple of days, they're fine. Alright, again, I'm doing this with a rubber spatula only because I've got such a small amount. I don't want to overdo it, which I may already have. Does she like this in CF too?
Bushy shit.
Samoan. Bring a Tongan in there, they'll behave. Tongans beat up Samoans.
We gained our independence from the Tongans. Makes us stronger.
Alright, again, just like with the muffins yesterday, I want you to mix this just until the creamed mixture and the dry ingredients are one, okay? Do not rationalize and think, well, 2-3 minutes extra won't hurt it. Okay, it's going to taste like a cookie, but you're going to lose the definition on top again, and it will be, it's going to spread out too much. Texture will be slightly different. Turn that dusting flour in there about half full. All right, now you have to be patient with forming these because we've only got 5 small little ice cream scoops. Okay, Grandma would have taken 2 teaspoons, scooped it up with one, and pushed it off with the other one. We're going to want something a little more uniform. Alright, don't be upset that I'm using an old sheet of paper. Okay, it's upside down, I'm going to reuse it. Now, you're going to go a full tray between 2 of you and a half tray, because if you're doing this correctly, half a recipe with 2 of you combined will make totally 3 dozen, total 3 dozen, okay? So you can get 2 dozen on here, so just divide it in half, and you can go 4 by 3 each person, okay? But if you're going to be doing a full tray, you don't want to just start going here and working the way across, okay? Always do 1 full row and then build off perpendicular to it so that you can space them properly before you start to fill in all the rows. Because if you go 1 row, 2 rows, 3. By the time you get over here, you may have not enough space or too much space. So always build 1 row, okay, across the short end, which is easier to readjust if you have to, and then divide the rest of it up. All right, with the ice cream scoop, and also if you're doing anything on a large sheet tray, always work on the far side towards you. Don't start working here and working your way across, because if your sleeves are rolled down, you could be dragging the cuffs of your sleeves across what you've got in the front rows. Okay? Now I'm going to be making, because I've already got it marked, I know what I'm going to be going for here. If you do it right, like I said, you will get, between the 2 of you, you should get 3 dozen. If you get less or more, you did something wrong. Don't worry. Now, make sure your scoop is clean and leveled off. This way you've got a uniform product. And I'm going to finish it up, but I want you to go ahead and clean fork. It's going to be dry, so I just take a little bit of the batter and just rub it across the bottom so some flour sticks to it. Now when you're doing anything that is a full tray, more than 1, I always like it, most chefs, pastry chefs as well, want to see everything uniform, so you're not going to be going pressing all over the place. I'm going to keep it going perpendicular, parallel with the edge of the tray. Okay, it's just one of those things that when you start working in the industry, you're going to want to keep things uniform, even if it's just cookies, okay? And do not press down too far with it. That extra flour won't show up. Okay, and pick your flour up and work right across the tray. Don't be working with the flour over here and going back and forth. Alright, I would get them all going in one direction and then just turn the tray around and just start doing perpendicular, okay? They're going to take approximately 10 to 12 minutes in the oven. After 5 minutes, I want you to turn the tray 180. Questions?
No, sure.
All right, get all your mise en place set up, your trays.